Look out! It's a Sparrow Pictures.
Snippet. There's often times where instinctually as a director, you kind of gravitate towards something and you can just kind of sense it and feel it. And we've often had to argue over
a good debate.
Little debates, where I'm like, we need this in this commercial or the short film or, the scene or, whatever. And she's like, yeah, but it's expensive. And I'm like, yeah, but it's going to pay off. And then eventually when you watch the film with other people or other people see it online or whatever, invariably the thing that I fought for usually ends up being the thing that people comment on.
It's true.
Did you have any experiences like that in this film where you had to kind of like, fight for something like that?
Yeah. So as often happens in family dramas, about 3/4 of the way into the movie, there's a pretty intense blow up in the family involving, David, the father and husband, and Helen, the wife and mother, and Rebecca's kind of caught in the middle of it. And it's a pretty intense, argument. And it's actually punctuated with a slap, which, so
that's not very Christian-like.
Right. And so, and we, early on, kind of in our inner circles, we're deliberating it before we start, you're sort of fashioning the edit and what's going to stay and what's going to go. And this is sort of before we start taking it to test screenings and sharing it with audiences. There was kind of an eternal debate of, is this over the line? Are we going to lose David as far as the audience? I always say it's one thing for God to forgive a human being. It's another thing for the audience to forgive a character. And, has he crossed the line into, and by the way, just to clarify, he's the one who slapped. He doesn't slap anyone. That would actually probably,
right.
That would have been unforgivable to an audience.
He's the slappee.
Right. And so, so there was a lot of sort of internal debate, and I just basically said, look, I really think we need to keep this, because I'm personally tired of movies that, and this isn't just faith movies. I think it's movies across the board a lot of times that just kind of keep you emotionally between like a 4 and a 6, and kind of keep you in the sort of safe, low conflict middle. And I'm like, man, if we're gonna go to all the trouble to put on these costumes and rig all these lights and throw up a camera, like, let's draw some blood, man. Like, let's make some people feel. And I just kind of fought for it. I was like, I really think that, I want to push people to like a 2 and an 8 or a 1 and a 9 or 1 and 10 even, if we can get there. But I don't want to kind of camp in this safe zone. So we fought for it. And we went to our first test screening, and I kind of was able to sit in, and I still have some anonymity. And so I was able to just kind of sit in the back and listen in on audience responses to the film. And the scene that was cited by many people was that fight in the backyard. Like, they started using words like raw and real. And these were the words that were like in my head and that I'd used to defend certain beats in the story. I want this to feel very raw and visceral and real. And so people were